Aloha friends, I'm gonna be cutting my hair. So I thought that maybe you guys might be interested since, quarantine haircuts are like a big thing right now. I've cut my hair in the past a little bit. I've also cut a bunch of my friends' hair in high school back in the day, a long time ago, very long time ago. And my mom's hair, she usually sported a pixie cut back in the day. So I've done a handful of hair cutting without any lessons whatsoever. So just kind of like wing it most of the time. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a look at what my hair is looking like right now. I haven't gotten it cut in months and months. There's still some like visible layering a little bit in there, but it's pretty shaggy and split ends galore. And excuse the fact that it's like not been washed for a while. Like, what's new these days, right? Personal hygiene out the window. Everyone's home all day, not seeing anyone. I hope you guys enjoy the video and hopefully glean some sort of inspiration or techniques from it, okay? All right, for tools, you'll need quality hair cutting shears, a sink or access to water, a cup or spray bottle, a strong hair tie, a hair clip, a fine-toothed tail comb, a brush, and a curling iron for styling. And then I just bring my little mini garbage can up to the counter and usually put it in the sink when I'm cutting. Because my hair is so thick, I'm going to actually brush through it real quick. And you guys, I'm so not a hairstylist, okay? So like, I'm sure I'm gonna have all these hairstylists comments like, what is she doing? Oh, she's breaking her hair. But so I guess you're supposed to like brush your hair starting at the bottom to then work up as you go. But I'm kind of like I'm all about making as many split ends as I possibly can in my hair, apparently. So I'm gonna brush my hair out just because it'll be easier to comb through it, to flatten it out when it's wet. Then I'm just gonna use the sink and kind of lean over it and just start putting water into my hair like this. But you can totally, if you have thinner hair, or you can use a cup too for thick hair as well. But if you have thinner hair, like a spray bottle would probably totally suffice. Just spray all over your hair and get it all equally damp and wet. So right now my hair is wet and I'm going to brush it all forward into a tight ponytail right in the front of my head. And I have big hands for a girl, so like you guys can see just how crazy thick, I can't even go a third time, my hair is. This isn't the best technique for someone with hair as thick as mine because you're supposed to go in smaller increments when you're cutting with these shears. If I'm just standing up and this is pulled out straight in front of me, I'm doing it at an angle. This will give me, the layers will be longer in the back and then a little bit shorter as they come forward in my face and give me some little bit of facial framing that way. So I just try and pinch the hair as tight as I can between two fingers. I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna be cutting with my left. And then just try and follow the angle of my fingers as much as possible. And the nice thing about thick hair is that if you flub up a little bit, like it's really not that noticeable. But what I also try and do is go back at the hair like this a little bit, just to kind of make the ends just less flush, I guess. I don't know if there's like a name for this technique or not, but
And then I'll just take the fine tooth comb and I'll just comb through that to get any little loose hairs into the garbage. And then we'll take this out. But I'm gonna brush it straight again. And you can also probably use like a wet brush, would probably be better for your hair to brush it out when it's wet. And I'm just gonna check the back. And I just wanted to primarily focus on getting my split ends. And I'm okay with that, at least for now. And you know, once it dries, I can really tell. So for the bangs, you just want to decide about how far back you want the framing to go. And what I do is I usually will kind of chunk it out, and I'll use the tail on this fine tooth comb to kind of separate the hairs from each other and kind of create like a line down what I want to cut next. Ooh, this is like a totally new fashion. I will twirl the hair out of my way just so I can see what I'm looking at up here and try and get it like reasonably even, if you can see the line that I'm making on top of my head. And so now I'll just use the clip on this, and I'm gonna pull everything else that I'm not gonna be cutting. I'm just gonna pull it back. And to start, I'll usually do just a blunt cut across the end, holding it out in front of me like this, and then I can see and I can just cut straight across. And then I'll split it down the middle and kind of look at how everything is hanging. I'll comb it out on each side. But then I'll just look at how everything kind of flows down, the framing flows on my face. Forming that line with my fingers, it's hard to see. And kind of moving my fingers down my hair, if that made any sense, as I like trim it. Now, being left-handed, the other side is super tricky. If you have it, I mean, if you can do it this way, that might be better. And I sometimes will even just make adjustments once my hair is dry as well. Sometimes I find that easier. I actually would cut my mom's hair and my husband's hair. I would do that method, doing it dry, just so I could tell, like, okay, am I taking too much, or, you know, what it's gonna look like when it's done and dry. So I'll go back through and do that process like I showed you earlier, where I just kind of, this just helps, I feel like, to blend it a little better and have it not look so just like blunted. You know, it helps to fall more natural. Just try not to cut yourself, because that hurts. Okay, so I just got out of the shower and I brushed my hair, and I split it down the middle again. It's just easier for me to kind of see as I'm going how it's just laying around my face. So I'm just gonna take, kind of arrange your hair so you've got your front, kind of your front layers that are gonna frame your face. And what I do is just take them in my hand, and then I just go at an angle down. So that you've got the nice, just flow down your face. And And again, like I realize mine's a little bit chunked out, so I'm totally cool with that, depending on how you want it. And this is always kind of my tricky side, but just make it work at whatever angle you want it to. And if you want to grab the ends and kind of, wearing black might be a good idea if you have lighter hair. But you might want to wear a lighter color shirt or just do this without a top on so that you can kind of figure out how and where everything is falling around your face. I think I'm comfortable with that, and it's falling about the right spot. And again, there's not a huge blend between these layers down here right now, but I'm going to try it out and see if I like it and style it, and then I'll see it styled and dried next. Okay, so after I'm done, I will just tap my brush out to make sure I've got any like loose hairs out of there, and then, you know, clean it like you might just clean your brush, and then I just set it to the side to dry and just wipe these down. You want to make sure that your scissors are totally dried out. So I'll usually, once I wipe it down or rinse it off, I wipe it dry and then just leave them open somewhere safe out of my little one's reach to dry off. And then I protect the tip with a little cloth here. I just wrap that around the tip because I never got a little holder for it. And then we just keep it in the side of our, this is where my husband has his, his clippers. Okay, so I curled half my hair, and then I thought maybe you guys might be interested in seeing how I curl my hair. So I thought that I'd stop and do a recording. But so this is what it looks like, just, you know, drying on its own after a shower. I like to use argan oil in my hair after a shower, just to kind of give it a little bit. It's a natural alternative to some of the other hair serums and stuff that keeps your hair smooth and soft and moisturized, or leave-in conditioners and all that. And then when I was using, for a while I was using grapeseed oil because it's got a high burning point before I did any heat treatments, but I would let it totally dry first after applying it, and then I would do that. I've recently ran out though, so I'm just curling without anything in my hair. But most of the time I'll do kind of like a little bit of framing this way on my bangs, taking about like an inch at a time, and then lightly curling back a little bit so it won't fall into my face, and it kind of swoops away a little bit in the front. And then I'll start taking chunks, about 1-inch chunks again. And I just kind of go around my, like you would old-fashioned curlers, just curling under all the way down. And my hair's thick, so I use the 330 degree setting. This is a Hot Tools model that looks like 1.5 inch, probably 1-inch barrel. So yeah, I use the 330 degree setting, and I hold it for about probably no longer than 8 seconds. And just set the curls aside, and I just kind of keep going this way, starting from the top. And moving from the front backwards, and then I go down to the next sections that are below those. So I'll just take them and kind of swoop them over to the other side so that I can access the lower levels of hair. And another way you can measure is just by holding your hair, and once it gets hot to the touch, then you can take it out as well. But I know everybody's hair's different, and everybody's curling irons are different, so you just want to do what works with your hair and your equipment combination. Okay, let's take a look. And then I just kind of fluff it out a little bit. All right, so thanks for joining me for my first kind of haircut, hairstyling tutorial. This was kind of fun, so I'm glad I decided to bring you guys along. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Please subscribe if you haven't already. All right, take care, God bless, live bright.